Hello, friends. My name is Susan Axelrod. I am the confidence coach. If I say that I feel confused or uncertain sometimes, is that bad for my brand? Not in my world. My brand is based on the intuitive business system and authenticity. Calling myself a confidence coach does not mean that I'm supremely confident all the time. It does not mean that I'm in utter, complete, total control all the time. It doesn't mean that I never suffer from being a little bit uncertain or unsure or wondering curiously why on earth something is happening. How is it possible that this happened? None of that is bad for my brand. That is life. Today, I want to ask you, what do you feel is in your control? What is in your control when I, the confidence coach, get into a place of uncertainty? Uncertainty leads to further uncertainty. Further uncertainty leads to insecurity. That insecurity leads to worry, which could lead to anxiety, and so on and so forth. And all of that feels unconfident. At this point in my life and my career, I don't go down that rabbit hole anymore. When I begin to face uncertainty, I come back into what I call my soul connection space, and I ask myself a question. What is in my control? Is it in my control to fix and change the world leaders who seem to be narcissistically, egoically intent on destroying the world for our children? That is not really in my personal control, because I made a decision a long time ago, decades ago, that I was not going to go into politics myself, though there was a possibility of that earlier in my life. A long time ago, I began to listen to myself, aka my soul, and have a sort of rise in my own control and say to myself, I'm doing what I can. Now, when we think or feel or even know there's more that we could be doing and we don't do it, that doesn't feel that great. And so I'm here to ask you today, in any area of your life or our lives in the history of the world at this time, are you doing what you can? Are you doing what is in your control? Recently, with a business client, I said I gave up the TED stage years ago. That used to be a dream of mine. People used to tell me, oh, you should be a TED speaker. And eventually I was like, I speak every day. I come here and speak directly to you. I don't need the TED stage to say what I want to say. I don't have an ego anymore who needs to be seen by millions and hundreds of thousands of people who see my TED video. That's not really what I'm doing here. That's not really where I'm going here. I'm here, sitting here, speaking directly to you if you're seeing this video or listening to me, and asking you, what is in your control? What can you do? Not what feels bad because you can't do it. You don't have enough money to give to this. You don't have enough time to do that. Not that, but rather to come back in and be more on point for yourself, to be honest with yourself about your own digital addiction, about your own use of weed, about your own use of alcohol, about shopping, gambling, eating, any of the overs that you might be engaging in, possibly for good reason. Possibly because you're so distressed, so torn up, so anxious, so depressed inside that you simply don't know what to do or how to manage those feelings. I get it. I get it. Over the last several years, I've created a coaching tool called Under Your Surface. And I'm here to tell you, it's freaking scary down there. It is. Believe me, it's easier to live above the surface in this sort of like more superficial space where you don't have to feel too much. Oh, believe me, I get it. When you live in that space, if you're good, like really good, like really okay, great. I'm happy for you. I'm 100% good with that. But if you live in that space and you feel like you're really not on point for yourself, where you're not really in a purposeful space, where your life lacks a little bit of meaning, where you wonder if you're making the impact that you can, or if you have a legacy that will be celebrated. Will I be remembered? Then I'm here to say, go in. Ask yourself the question, how am I really doing? Be honest with yourself. Engage in a higher power if you have that connection. Figure out what is in your control. Today I read about somebody online who said, I sent a note to 10 of my neighbors, inviting them to get together so we could get to know each other a little better. And she gave some dates, and she's going to synthesize the dates and then invite together the most who can meet on the agreed upon date. Such a simple thing, because I can tell you, of those 10 people she reached out to, these were people who are in her building, but not friends with. Of those people she reached out to, there are several who are suffering deeply, several who might really benefit from simple, uncomplicated, not necessarily deep connection or engagement. Is this something you can do? You may not have the most to give to some political candidate, or you may not have the most to give to some agency with a cause that touches you deeply. You may not even have time to do more than, just one little thing. But if you are honest with yourself today about the time, what it is that you do with your time, about the time you spend scrolling, binging, television shows, binging on streaming platforms, then I bet you could buy a little bit of time for yourself. In those hours, even if you don't do it until the 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. hour, it's unlikely you're going to be socially engaging with somebody from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. What would it feel like to get better rest at that time so that you could be more on point during the waking hours? And so on, and so on, and so on. I'm feeling very urgent these days. I'm impassioned about coming here asking you what's in your control. Don't worry about what you're supposed to be doing or how others see you or what others have told you what to do and how to be. But take the time to go into yourself, connect up with your soul, and see how you can rise from there. I'm Susan Axelrod, the Confidence Coach. You can find me at my website, whatwillyourlegacybe.com. You can find me on LinkedIn under my name, on Facebook under my name. If I can help you with this, I'm available. I'm interested. I do a great job in coaching partnership, and I want to work with you. See you again soon.